to do things orderly at the right time, and that makes the organization to be able to grow from one phase to another. Otherwise, if you purchase at the last minute, then it leads to crisis. Another function of purchasing is that it helps an organization. Purchasing helps an organization in to rely less on imports but export more. Because when an organization purchases in time, the purchased inputs can help that organization also to produce in bulk and start exporting. That means with time, that organization will help the organization to import less and export more, thus saving foreign exchange. Another one, purchasing helps minimization of wastage of resources because it involves budgeting and proper planning, such that the wastage of resources is solved, and the resources which that leads to efficient and effective management of resources. Thus, the organization is able to grow. Also, purchasing increases the proportion of the organization's requirements that are bought, and when they are bought in bulk, it also they are also given discounts. Thus, they are able to save the costs. And this also leads to efficiency and effectiveness. Having looked at the importance of purchasing, now let us look at then what is supply chain management. Since we have defined purchasing, now what is supply chain management? Because the question is purchasing and the supply management. And already we have said that purchasing, it means procurement of goods and services from external agencies. Then now what is supply chain management or supply management? Supply management, it comes from the word supply. It consists of every stakeholder or everyone involved in making sure that the organization gets the product that it requires. All the stakeholders, everybody involved in getting the product to reach the organization, that the whole process, all the stakeholders combined is what we call supply chain or supply management. And who are these stakeholders involved to make sure that an organization continues to get supplied with the necessary inputs, with the necessary goods and services? The stakeholders include raw material gatherers, because organizations need more raw materials. Companies need more raw materials. So those who gather raw materials, manufacturers, transporters, wholesalers. Then we have warehousing, where to keep the raw materials. Then we have stockrooms. Everyone involved in the whole process of making sure that the product reaches the organization is what we call supply chain management. It is a network of manufacturers, suppliers, logistic providers needed to get a specific product to your business and subsequently to the customers. Then let us look at what is every organization should have a purchasing department. Now, what is the purpose of a purchasing department? From the word purchasing department, we can draw points and we look at what does it do for an entity organization? The purchasing department must make sure that it procures raw materials and other resources for the organization. For a manufacturing company, it might include raw materials like iron, steel, aluminum, plastics, etc. It depends on an organization, because organizations have different needs and priorities. But the purchasing department is supposed to make sure that the organization continues to get the necessary raw materials and resources for its use. Number two, achieving the best possible price. The purchasing department is charged with continuously evaluating whether it is receiving these materials at the best possible price in order to maximize profitability. So it must make sure that it maximizes profitability and must evaluate the prices and purchase from the supplier who offers the input at the least price. And that's what we call efficiency, so that you minimize wastage of resources. So that means purchasing department staff should communicate with the alternative vendors. Vendors is a word which also means suppliers. Negotiate better prices for bulk orders, or if you have purchased goods in big amounts. And should also negotiate for discount, because if I bought a lot from you, then I deserve a discount. So at the end of the day, I purchase the product at a fair price, and that is the role of the purchasing department. Then also, there is another function of purchasing department, and this is paperwork and accounting. Purchasing departments handle all the paperwork involved with purchasing and the delivery of supplies and materials. It ensures timely delivery of materials from the vendors, generates and tracks purchase orders, and it works alongside receiving department and accounts payable department to ensure that the promised deliveries are received in full and are being paid for in time. Because if you don't pay for what you have purchased and you take long, it means next time you may not be able to be given the goods and services, or they would insist on you pay before you get them. But if you are, it is the function of the purchasing department to make sure that the goods and the services obtained, they pay in time. Another function of the purchasing department is compliance with the business protocols. The purchasing department ensures that it complies with the organization's policies. Before making the purchase, the purchasing department must ensure that it adheres the proper protocols for purchase and budget approval, and must ensure that any items purchased is in accordance with the purchasing policy of the organization, because organizations have different policies and must give accountability. If you have been given money to purchase items, it means at the end of the day, the organization wants to see, have you brought the required items? If you have brought the required items, they are value for money. That is the role of the purchasing department. And as I've told you that, and I want first to emphasize it, that assessment is going to be examined. I mean, you'll be given tests, coursework online. And I've already informed you that the coursework could be marked out of 10 marks, while test 30, constituting 40, and the final exam, which is still pending, will be marked out of 60. As members, I encourage you to use online e-learning such that you are not left behind, and we move with the times since we are in a new normal. Otherwise, I wish you the best for the beginning. I will make sure that you get notes. Others have already got, and I will also make sure the rest also are able to access my notes. I wish you the best. God bless.